The return from my travel left me with some time after dinner to work on the sculpting part. After dropping my bags around my room, I sat down to work on the sculpt. Even if this phase might seem like a small part of the entire process, if I fail to finish the concept by the end of the day, I might struggle to finish it till the submission deadline. On switching from my laptop to my PC setup, the process became significantly smoother and quicker, as after this, I would only have a single day to finish the remaining work. Also, a process like sculpting is better done if completed in a single uninterrupted flow. The second layer of the sculpt includes refining the overall structure, adding a few muscular details, layering the body with a wood-like layer, and finally sculpting some aquatic features on the tail. The body is supposed to resemble an insect-like structure, while the features and silhouette resemble an ancient life form. These combined would help me find a balance between an animalistic and a tree-like appearance, avoiding too much subdivisions in the mesh, and majorly reshaping the mesh into a more complex form would be the secondary objective. Getting as many details as possible without using the remesh button. This is a double-edged sword, where the sculpting flow might drag you into unnecessary details, which I strictly had to avoid due to the time constraint. Spending too much time in Blender would also mean falling into the trap of more subdivisions and thus increasing the render time. The aquatic part was not pre-decided and was improvised in the process itself. Putting on my favorite playlist in the background helped me a lot. Aquatic life is also an important part of nature, and thus you see me sculpting the tail in the form of a fish-like fin. This not only helps the character counterbalance its weight, but also provides effective propulsion in water. Sculpting the smaller parts like the palms, fingers, feet and toes make up for the finishing part of this phase. There are also some final parts which were readjusted, like these layers that extend from the head to the back and look similar to the shell layering on the back of a praying mantis. A mysterious mask made out of bone-like material adds more to the mysterious aura of the character. A realization struck me while sculpting. Hours of sculpting practice had given me the proficiency where I was able to improvise certain character features and details directly in the sculpting part, without any extensive sketch references. Many of these aspects and features revealed themselves to me in the process. The 12 hours of travel time had left me a bit exhausted, and I was unable to work in till the late night. Like that, I can finally call it a day and get some good hours of sleep. Many of us tend to underestimate how important sleep and recovery actually are in a creative workflow. Sleep provides that much required window of resetting your brain after long hours of burnout. This recovery can also be a significant factor in your productivity and efficiency. And what's left to be completed is painting a basic layer of texture in Blender and a 2D Paintover in Photoshop. There is a useful trick that I would like to share for the texturing part. Usually, the texturing part can be quite time consuming because of the retopology and the UV mapping steps, but this method lets you skip those tedious steps. You can directly paint your textures in the sculpt mode. But how do you do it? By using the color attribute node. This node allows you to view the texture that you paint in the sculpt mode as a base color. That is, considering that you are going to paint over the details later in a 2D software, and the art piece will be used just as a sculpt or a concept. Considering these shortcomings, you can still experiment various color palettes and schemes with this method before going into the final texturing part. Another important thing to remember in this part is that the brushstroke quality in this workflow is highly dependent on how dense or subdivided your mesh is. A dense mesh gives you sharp strokes, while a less subdivided one can result in pixelated or low resolution strokes. In this case, this won't create much problem as the textures are going to be repainted anyways. Also, I was already going for a stylized painterly look, and thus this kind of plays into my favor. The painted base layer becomes crucial for me, as I am not too proficient in directly painting the texture on the base or a grayscale model. All I require from this part is a basic wooden texture over the body, a fin-like blue-green tone on the tail, and some different colors on the armor to add contrast and variations. I don't have to worry too much about the color variations, as adding some leaves and other elements will just provide the exact. After painting the base color, I added in a normal and a roughness texture map from a pre-existing Blender market material to enhance the wood effect. Now, time for the Paintover. The time I spent binge watching tutorials on how to paint over 3D renders came in handy here. I swear I was nervous in this last phase, as I had never painted over a 3D render myself, and it made me a bit hesitant as I assumed that there was a chance that I might ruin the actual render. But there is a first time for everything, I guess. This is the make it or break it part of the concept. To make good content, you must also spend an ample amount of time in consuming great content. This experience has taught me that nervousness also brings thrill, which is often required to balance out a boring, monotonous work life. Sometimes working under pressure brings out the best in you. When the stakes are high, when you have something to prove to yourself, this pushes the efficiency and skill level which you might never thought would be possible. So, just go for it. The part that required the most amount of paint work was the leaf covered cloak. Apart from that, the rest of the Paintover was mostly enhancing the lighting, contrast, and further enhancing the stylized painted effect. The Kuwahara composing node provided me with that basic painterly effect in my render. If you are also painting over renders for the first time, remember to gather precise references for textures and materials. This floating thing is supposed to be another form of our character, the spirit form to be precise. The character would mostly traverse in this form, floating as a guardian spirit over the player and transforming into its original combat form during combat. A translucent floating spirit resembling a floating stingray and a butterfly covered in petals and leaves. As I near the end of this Paintover part, I only had 2 hours remaining before the submission portal was about to shut down. And for some reason I decided to model a bamboo bow and a few arrows. Because, why not? I like archery, and the character did not have any ranged abilities either. If you are interested in checking out the full abilities sheet, which shows how I transform natural elements into combat abilities, check out the final concept on my ArtStation or on my Instagram. I will pin the links of those in the description. As we near the end of part 2, I think we are done with this concept. Or are we? I would say not yet. This has much more potential than just a character concept or a 3D model. I have something planned for this, which is much more interesting. To find out, stay tuned for part 3.